What up, everyone? Pat Mayo here with your 2020 U.S. Open DraftKings Picks. One's by each range too. You can find my cheat sheet already up in the description of this video and dkplaybook.com. My full breakdown, betting, DraftKings, first look, and live chat over on the Mayo Media Network YouTube page. The live chat's going to be noon Eastern on Wednesday, so I recommend you go check that out if you have more questions about the U.S. Open. But let's jump right into this. You look at the $10,000 range on DraftKings, and I feel like you really can't go wrong. There's going to be landmines. Trust me, this is the U.S. Open. We're looking at 144 players in the field. Top 60 in ties make the cut. That's a very low percentage of players making the cut, only 42%. The U.S. Open, traditionally one of the hardest courses. We're back at Winged Foot this year, where the winning score is probably going to be around even, maybe +4, +5. The last time a U.S. Open in 2006 was at Winged Foot, and that was after they made the fairways wider, was still +5. They've narrowed those fairways this time around. So one of these top-end guys is going to miss the cut. Knowing who it is would be, a huge advantage. I wouldn't be here talking to you. I would be betting on it and making all my money on this one bet and then retiring. I don't know. But you have DJ Rahm, Justin Thomas, Rory, Xander, Morikawa. For me, Thomas and Morikawa are your two top plays. For me, even Morikawa is probably, he hits the most fairways of any of these guys in the top end. And hitting fairways is going to be such an essential skill this week because you're going to have to play out sideways, essentially, a lot of the time if you put it in the rough. It's going to be at least 5 inches thick. Players have already come out and said this is going to be the hardest course they're going to play probably this decade. So I think that keeping it in the short grass, hitting it 40 feet from the cup and trying to two-putt for par will win you a U.S. Open this year. So the guys that make the fewest mistakes are going to be the key. So someone like Morikawa, well, his distance is way behind the Rahms and the DJs and Thomases of the world. He hits the most fairways by a large percentage of all of these guys. So Morikawa is my very top-end play. You can fudge in Justin Thomas. If you want to go with DJ, who's the best player in the world right now, and Scorching, or Rahm, who's just behind him, I can't talk you out of it. Like they're smart plays, but you're trying to fade some of the ownership here. And realistically, if you start with Morikawa, you can make a more balanced lineup because you drop into the nines. You have Webb Simpson at $9,700. He's just behind Bryson. Like Bryson's drivers all over the place right now. Let's fade him. Webb hits a ton of fairways. He's a great iron player. He's a great around the green player. He's a great putter. He seems perfectly tailored. He's already won a U.S. Open at +1 too. If this is going to linger around even par, Webb Simpson, great play. Hideki Matsuyama, $9,000, someone who plays really well at really tough courses. Again, another value. Then after that, you can just kind of fade the Fleetwoods, the Scotts, the Tiger Woods. You can drop right to Patrick Reed, $8,500, another player who plays difficult courses really well. Then you start taking your accuracy players with a little bit of distance down to that bottom 8, $7,000 level. Matthew Fitzpatrick and Tyrrell Hatton, two of my favorite plays of the week. You can pair them up with one of Morikawa or Webb for a very balanced build right off the hop. They're both at $8,100 and $8,000 respectively. I just think that is a fantastic price, especially Fitzpatrick, whereas irons are kind of wonky and his around the green game can be up and down. He hits a ton of fairways and he can go nuclear with his putter. And he can really save himself with a lot of these 12-footers, 8-footers. He just makes them at a more consistent rate than almost anyone else. Putting, tough to rely on, but at the same time, it's something that you're going to need to have this week. You're going to need to make those putts. And he doesn't put himself in a lot of trouble. And even the guys right below him, Answer, Casey. Matthew Wolff is someone I really do like at $7,700. The player in the field with the longest distance and the best accuracy is actually Jon Rahm, which would make him a really nice play. The second best player is actually Matthew Wolff. You're getting a huge price discount. He just finished inside the top 10 at the PGA Championship. His irons have been amazing. He is the third longest player off the tee in this field, and he's top 30 in accuracy. So he should be someone that doesn't need to scale back and use driving irons off the tee. He can go driver heavy here and keep it in the short grass, which is going to be huge for him. And well, the putting hasn't been great recently. On POA, he is a much better putter. Going down the board, it's not the typical guys that I normally go with. Sungjae, fairway guy, let's use him. Brendan Todd, $7,400, the best fairway player, accuracy player on tour. Let's go with him. Matt Kuchar, Zach Johnson, Matt Wallace. We're all just going down the list with some of these guys who you would not conceive as major champions, but in a grind fest, they're the guys you want. In the $6,000 range, Reavie, Streelman, Tyler Duncan, Brian Harman. There's some flashy Euro names, some flashy Corn Ferry names. Take the old school PGA grinder at a classical course. The guys that hit the fairways, the guys who two-putt for par, like I'm saying. That's the route that I'm taking. I might be completely wrong, but I'm going to play my teams with very similar skill sets this week for the 2020 US Open on DraftKings. Again, you can check out my full shows up on Mayo Media Network. My cheat sheet and full preview is up on dkplaybook.com. All of that you can find in the description of this video. Smash the like on the way out. I'm Pat Mayo. I'll see you next time.